Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And yeah, she's back. She's had vertigo the last couple days.
I have.
Her head is spinning a little bit, but she's going to try to sit through a couple of videos today. So hopefully the woohoos are back.
Woohoo!
There we go. It's a premature woohoo. We'll take it. So we're going to talk about Palworld, and I think I need to explain Palworld to Geeky because she.
I understand the game because I know you and Squid King were playing it, and they have been going on about it for days. I know they both love it very, very, very much. But I also people are mad because I think it stole from Pokemon.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about the backlash. We're gonna talk about these latest accusations now, and really where I think this is coming down to it is that legally Nintendo, Game Freak, the Pokemon company, yes, there are many fingers involved in Pokemon. It's complicated.
That's just creepy. Don't finger Pokemon.
Don't finger. Well, I don't think you can do that in Palworld either. But you can kill them and eat them. You can arm them with weapons. You can turn them into weapons. But I don't think you can finger them. That would be weird. I'm sure somebody will come up with a
Okay, would you please not?
Anyway. Legally, I don't think Nintendo, Game Freak, whoever can do anything about shutting down Palworld. That being said, we've got some really crazy ass Pokemon stands that are really reaching, trying to find every possible angle to help, big corporation Nintendo take out Palworld because they can't stand how successful this game has become. I didn't realize how mental some Pokemon fans are.
How could you not at this point? We've been doing cartoons.
Yes.
And Rooster Teeth.
Yes.
And all this stuff for
comic
Disney fans.
Books and Disney
forever. How can you not? At this point, it doesn't surprise me
because
at all.
Because I am a casual Pokemon player. I don't get involved in the Pokemon stuff, but I should have figured because the Pokemon fandom is weird. The Smash Brothers
and younger skews, the more they get weird.
That is true. There is a definite, I'm not trying to be that guy, but there's a definite correlation between the cute factor of a franchise and the mental illness of the adult fans of the franchise. Is that a fair assessment?
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah.
I'm not saying
the
obsession. Yeah. I'm not saying always. I want to be very clear. I'm not saying every Pokemon fan is mental. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that it has been my experience that when you start dealing with cartoon characters,
extremism.
That's all I'm saying. We've seen it time and time and time again. So anyway, yes, it makes perfect sense that Pokemon fans are obsessive.
I would go with the word obsessive personally. But
obsessive.
Anyway, go ahead.
And they've apparently been sending death threats.
That point is where it crosses into arguable illness issues. But yeah,
yes,
like you can't separate reality from this. Then that's where I would argue that. But normally I think it's just obsessive behavior.
So let's talk about just how big Palworld has gotten and some drama around the models because apparently they couldn't get anywhere with Nintendo being able to shut them down legally, so they were trying to say that they're lifting models from the game. I did a video yesterday. At first I have heard of it, and then it turns out that is not the case, that they're just making that shit up. So we're gonna talk about that. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so the fact that CNN is freaking talking about it means it's a big deal. And here are the sales numbers currently. This is as of 53 minutes ago on Game Rant. Palworld has sold over 7 million copies in just 5 days. The game's unique combination of monster catching, survival, and base building has resonated with players. Like I told Squid King, it's like they put all of the most popular genres of games into a blender.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
And it's almost, if you want to talk about AI, it almost feels like, hey, AI, give me the formula for the most popular video game ever. And it's like, well, we take a little bit of Minecraft, we take a little bit of Ark, and we take a little bit of Breath of the Wild, and we throw some Pokemon into it, and boom, money. It's going to print money, and there it is. Palworld has received rave reviews with over 70,000 reviews on Steam and a 93% positive rating.
I know you and Squid King really like it.
I think it's freaking awesome. The game's success is even more impressive considering it's available on Xbox Game Pass where subscribers can play without purchasing it. The future Palworld looks promising with planned updates including islands, more pals, more bosses, PvP. This game is in It's in early access, so it's not done. It's basically like you're getting to play a beta copy. So they've got so much money now that they can make this thing freaking amazing. Like, it's already amazing what you can do. I did not expect the game to be this good this early. And now they've got like a cajillion dollars to work with, and they can make this thing just freaking nominal. Re-freaking phenomenal. I forgot a fin in there. Re-freaking phenomenal. However, developers are prioritizing addressing critical issues such as glitches, AI problems, and crashes before rolling out the updates. So they're not going to update right away. They got some, at least they're going to fix their shit, right? But with success comes detractors. We know that, right?
Do we? No, sorry. We just get detractors, but I wouldn't say we were super successful.
We're not super successful, right? They said, yeah, this is coming from CNN. The comparisons to Pokemon have sparked controversy. Fans of the long-running Pokemon franchise on Nintendo platforms have been angry about the close similarities of various creature designs, according to IGN. It's gotten bad enough that Pocketpair said it received death threats.
I believe it.
Impassioned gamers behaving badly on behalf of a brand isn't new.
Nope.
Such as harassment. Oh my God. They're dragging Gamergate into it. Impassioned.
They cannot without Gamergate. It's so funny to me.
Impassioned gamers behaving badly on behalf of a brand isn't new, such as the harassment campaigns, doxing, and death threats that came out of Gamergate. Toxic behavior even led to the swatting death of a Kansas man in 2017. Usually it's the other way around. Usually it's like if you're against a brand or something, you get these crazy people coming out of the woodwork trying to get you swatted and stuff. We've seen it with the comic book thing. We've seen it with, like, it's crazy. So we'll talk about the legal action, but they said that Pocketpair has avoided lawsuits so far. A YouTuber independently modified the game by putting actual Pokemon into it, and they got shut down like hard, right?
By Nintendo, which
by Nintendo.
Because you can't. Nintendo's going to be watching us like a hawk right now.
Oh yeah, they're looking for. So this is the thing. Nintendo's looking for every damn loophole they can find. Now, yesterday I reported that it was coming out that there were allegations that they were using actual models from Nintendo Pokemon games, Game Freak Pokemon games, and they put them into Palworld and just modified them. It's turning out that was made up. But let's talk about whether or not they actually would have a case. And everything I've heard is no. I mean, multiple lawyers have said they don't think Nintendo can do anything. And honestly, if Nintendo could do something, they would have by now. Mm-hmm. They would have
stopped it from coming out.
Oh yeah, because it's making them look bad. I mean, people are like, well, Pokemon's still the bigger franchise. Of course it is. It's been around for 30-some years.
Here's the thing, though. Pokemon has gotten lazy.
Nintendo has
gotten lazy with Pokemon in recent years and recent games, I would argue. And this would maybe make them have to step up their game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a win for players either way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So they said that they think that this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter. They think that the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Nintendo, and this is where it's complicated. I shortened it to Nintendo in a video, and I got called out by Pokemon fans. Yes, I know it's not just Nintendo, but they actually own part of creatures too. So Nintendo owns a pretty big chunk of Pokemon, but the Pokemon Company and Game Freak are also involved. I understand that. Anyway,
they can't fit it all in the headlines sometimes.
No, right? But saying Nintendo makes it so much easier. Nintendo may have already looked into whether any of their rights were violated. Pocketpair released a trailer for the game 3 years ago. If they were to sue, the companies would have likely sent a cease and desist around that time to block the entities or block the title's release. The rights holders to Pokemon may not think legal action is worth the trouble, though a lawsuit could be in the works. There's a principle in copyright law. It's not the idea that's protected, but the expression. The Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Nintendo collectively own the character designs, as well as the way the intellectual property is portrayed, but they don't own the idea of a game around players collecting monsters and battling them. If that was the case, then they would have shut down Digimon. They would have shut down Monster Rancher. Like all these games, when Pokemon took off, all these clones popped up. Now, the biggest difference is that these creatures look very, very similar to actual Pokemon. In fact, some of them are just like 25% different.
Right.
So that's where it gets kind of So here we're going to talk about this because it turns out that this is actually potentially bullshit. If it goes to court, the Pokemon Company would likely sue over similarities in character design. In a post on X comparing the creatures in Pokemon and Palworld, Biofrogs used biofrogs, used 3D models to find that some of the designs shared near exact proportions. And that's what I reported on yesterday. Pocketpair could argue that using Pokemon character designs is protected under fair use, but course would likely take a skeptical view of that argument. Basically, they're going to look at this and be like, will consumers confuse Palworld for Pokemon? You know, because they look, I mean, if you'd showed me the trailer for Palworld and told me it was the new, I'm going to be honest, if you showed me that trailer and said, hey, this is the new next gen Pokemon game, I would have believed you.
Yeah, see, I was thinking that too. I was like, I actually could see where there'd be confusion. But that's, you know.
Yeah, but that turns out that this is what they're trying to get them on now. So it was like, okay, well, you can't sue because you can't basically own the monster taming genre.
You can't own the mechanics or the general story.
But the loophole could be if the character designs are too similar to Pokemon, there could potentially be brand confusion. Or the smoking gun would be if Pocketpair actually lifted the models directly from the games, which is what the accusation was. Apparently, this has been debunked. Now, I got to give a hat tip to Squid King, who's been on top of this. And he said that no, they're basically, they made this shit up because it's, again, Pokemon fans trying to get this game taken down because it's so successful. This guy here, TTV Palmer, says it's been proven that Palworld was not made with AI and was not made with stolen assets. In fact, the look how the models are one-to-one Twitter user later admitted to scaling them to fit. Y'all couldn't find legitimate reasons for anger and fabricated it. So yeah, that was what was going around yesterday was, oh, if you overlay these models, it's very obvious that they just kind of lifted them from Pokemon. And now they're like, well, I did have to change some stuff.
But that's not the same thing then. And it's like, I know people are getting mad too. They're like mad because the guy that was the developer was like, said he thought AI was okay. And they're mad about that. But AI, when this game was being developed, wasn't to the level it is now. So you couldn't have just AI'd it.
So here's what the actual problem is. So this is the person that BioFrog account on Twitter was the one who was saying that this is, you know, there were stolen assets. Why are they doing it? I'm doing this because I think it's disgusting how much Palworld glorifies animal abuse. So basically their whole thing is they don't like the fact that you can walk up to a pal in Palworld, punch them in the face or shoot them or whatever. You can't do that in Pokemon.
Pokemon fight each other until they drop over.
Yeah, it's a cockfight. And you're not actually killing the pals either. They get knocked out just like Pokemon. They just, you know, their little corpse lays there and you take their meat, but they're sleeping, honest. They just had jerky in their back pocket, even though they're not wearing pants.
Again, though, they have, like you said, Pokemon basically is like a cockfight. It's what
it is a cockfight, yeah.
You know?
And I remember PETA had a shit fit about Pokemon. They did, you know. But now we've got...
They're not even real animals.
They're not even real animals.
None of it's real.
So this is Bimetal Grayman, apparently a Digimon fan. Don't fall for the lies that Palworld stole assets. This takedown of screenshots from those videos proves the Palworld models are different. The person that created the misleading anti-Palworld video admits to hating Palworld for glorifying animal abuse. This has nothing to do with plagiarism. They just hate the game for being edgy. And that's the thing. A lot of the Pokemon fans are angry because the game is a lot more violent than Pokemon.
I feel a little regretful for using exactly so flippantly here. I was trying to be silly. How is that being silly?
It's getting picked up by CNN now that they stole the assets.
I was trying to be silly, but I think they gave the incorrect impression. When you're saying exactly, and you're trying to show that it's exactly being used, but you're changing things, that's not being flippant or, you know, giving a wrong impression. I want to emphasize that while some elements are similar, these meshes are not literally exact copies of each other. Wasn't that the argument they were giving?
Yeah. They were basically saying, and it was going around yesterday, that there were some people that said they had proof, quote unquote, I'm using air quotes here, proof that they lifted the meshes from the games, from the most recent Pokemon games, and then just tweaked them. And that does not seem to be the case. Yeah, is there some common sense test to show that this isn't an accident? I've been counting polygons. That feels so easy to cover for, like, I could just press a button in Blender and the meshes would be completely different. So, yeah, this is a bad faith argument. You would actually have to have these side by side. And I said that's about the only way that Nintendo could technically shut them down is if they prove they were lifting assets from their game. Now, people are saying that they think if they pulled the meshes, right? It was going around, they pulled it from like Scarlet and Violet. And I'm like, yeah, but they showed a trailer for this game like 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, they wouldn't have been able to do that. And they couldn't have used AI
for
back
other characters they hadn't shown. But,
right. But still.
To be fair.
I mean, look, the characters are designed to be similar to Pokemon because that's the hook. It's like, what if you took Ark Survival Evolved and you have to survive on an island, but instead of threatening dinosaurs, we got these cute little Pokemon, but you can still shoot them in the face.
I like the one that's addicted to coffee.
Oh my God, yeah. Is it Depresso?
I don't know, but I love him. Or her. I think you're so cute.
So
they're just like staring at you, like wishing you death. That's great.
It is. That's me on a
That would be. That'd be you.
So Kotaku, who did a journalism, said the modeler who compared Palworld and Pokemon critters denies fabrication accusation. Modeler says they only scaled the models, but they didn't alter them. So, yeah. So this is that bio has posted several videos directly comparing the models of different Pokemon with Palworld's pals. And at a glance, the side-by-side seems pretty damning. So here's the thing. If Nintendo would go to court, though, they're going to have people that aren't familiar with how this stuff actually works. The judge probably doesn't understand. Like, oh, yeah, that wolf is the same color as that other wolf. And, yeah, I guess it looks kind of similar. And, okay, maybe. But they would have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that they stole assets. They said side-by-side seems damning. However, in the days since their comparisons have gone viral to the tune of millions of views, accusations that Bio had fabricated or edited the models to fit the narrative have started sprouting up.
No one ever does it ever.
He said that the user scaled Pokemon Palworld models to be comparable in size to one another for the comparisons. In a statement to Kotaku, Bio says this is the extent of editing they did, rather than any tampering with the models to make similarities look more stark. But they also said they were biased. They want this game shut down because they don't like the animal violence.
Don't play it then.
They said, I didn't edit the models in a way that would modify their meshes, proportions, or other fundamental features other than their size and Blender. Blender can do a lot of things, though. I did scale them uniformly. So, for example, I might scale up one model by threefold, XYZ. Well, they're polygons, so yeah, you can do that. The models are all from different games and potentially made in different 3D modeling software suites, so they tend to load at a really different scale. So, look, I don't know if Nintendo would have to prove that they literally went in and just stole assets.
It would be really stupid.
It would be incredibly stupid. This game was announced years ago. And they're in Japan. The studio's in Japan. Pocketpair is in Japan. And copyright protection laws are crazier in Japan than they are here. And I don't think they would have gotten away with it. And Nintendo's right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have been knocking on their door and been like, hey, here's a cease and desist. You can't make a monster catching game, you know. But then the flip side is, how many variations of a cartoon wolf can you actually do anyway? You know, if you're looking for that, and you could take another game. I want to see them take, like Monster Ranchers. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like some other game that uses similar style characters and do the same comparison. Because I think you're going to see there are a lot of similarities.
Right.
There. The whole thing is, their argument needs to be thrown out because they said that they were basically trying to get Palworld because they don't like the fact that Palworld is more violent than Pokemon. So what do you do with that? You know? And it's like, it's killing it. And if Nintendo could shut it down, they would shut it down for sure. And I don't think
they would have shut down before it came out.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Pocketpair says it's not worried about a lawsuit from Nintendo, though the Mario Maker has come after a mod that changes all Palworld's pals into Pokemon characters. So that's different, though. That is different because that is Nintendo's actual intellectual property, Pikachu.
Plus, it's a mod.
It's a mod, yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily them, so.
Yeah, so anyway, there we go, guys. This is going to rage on for a while, and meanwhile, Palworld is going to make tons and tons
and all
tons
it's going to do is make more people go to Palworld.
That's exactly it.
Maybe that's why Nintendo isn't. Because if they do, it's going to drive more people to Palworld.
Look at Hogwarts Legacy. Like, the harder you go at a game, the more you try to cancel a game, the more people check it out, the more people buy it. There are people playing Palworld now that are not into these kinds of games at all, but they're like, no, I want to check it out because everybody's talking about it. CNN's talking about it. So yeah, Nintendo's probably like, shit, just shut up. We don't want to be the douchebags. We don't want to be the bad guys. But I guarantee you their lawyers are working overtime looking for any loophole they can find.
Now, are these the Palworld characters here?
Yes, and they look like Pokemon.
They do look very similar.
They're very, very close. First time I saw a trailer, I'm like, damn, well, that's this one, and that's this one, and that's this one. And, but they're different enough, So I don't know, guys. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's a fun game. You should check it out. We're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.